Hello, everybody, whoever's watching or going to be watching. This is Joanne Ewing from Reach the Unlimited, and today is me. Um, I have a lot to talk about, so I'm taking today to do that. I want to thank everybody for watching this and being a part of this. I'm looking forward to some people coming on, but today I wanted to talk about fear. This is something that I have been experiencing a lot lately. As I'm going through big changes in my life and trying to turn off the volume. And so one of the things that I'm dealing with is fear of change, fear of the uncertainty. Those are things that we can really be affected by. Hi, whoever's here. And hi, Stacy. And so I wanted to talk about that because I'm facing myself in ways that I had never faced myself before and learning deeply about how I work and how I think and what's important to me and things that I didn't even know about myself. But the main thing I've been learning about myself is I've been going through my process of what am I doing? Where am I going? How am I going to create my life? All these things that we all have to face from time to time is the fear that takes over and almost cripples you. And we all have that fear. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about what I've been kind of working on and understanding and studying and learning about as I've been going forward in the change that's happening in my life. And it really is the feeling, we all hear about those gut reactions or listen to your gut or all those things, but do we really understand what that means? Well, I'm beginning to understand it quite deeply because I've been having a lot of feelings in my body. But what I didn't realize is how your body talks to you before it goes to your mind, how your body tells you what's going on before you have to think it. And I don't know that we really pay attention to it. I hadn't. Like, I've been really noticing when I'm thinking about what I'm going to do or how I'm going to move forward, I'm getting that nervous tightness in my abdomen. And I remember when I was a kid, before my mom would come home, I would get that feeling of tension and uneasiness because I was not sure what was going to happen when my mom got home. What was the atmosphere going to be like? What were we going to be doing? What were we, all the things that you do when you're a kid and you're worried about what your mom's going to do. Oh, hold on. I've got something going on here. Hold everything. Technical difficulty here. One of the things that happens though is that we start thinking about it, right? We either feel like we're doing something wrong or that I don't really care. I just don't care. And neither one of them is really the best way to deal with that kind of feeling. Because if you don't care, then you're not doing the things that are going to help you perpetuate forward in your life. Or if you're like frozen and you're not really paying attention to all of the options that you have in front of you, then you're not moving forward either. And so it really is something for us to pay attention to. Did I do something wrong? I know for me, when my mom would come home, I was always in that kind of fear mode. Did I do something wrong? What did I not do correctly? How am I going to get in trouble for something? And we develop these habits in our daily lives that we don't even realize that we have. I don't know about you guys if you've felt this way, but I felt this way before. And so, what I'm trying to do is understand how I can maneuver through these kinds of feelings of fear, through these feelings of what I'm going to do or how I'm going to react to them, like caring about it. How do I move forward? And the other thing I've noticed too, and hi, whoever's here. I'm sorry, I'm not doing readings tonight. This is just mainly talk time. Good evening, Michelle. It's nice to see you. I'm talking about fear and how much fear controls our life and we don't even realize it does. And how important it is that when we're going through anything, whether it just be a normal day or something stressful, that we pay attention to our body because our body will tell us what's going on and we don't realize it. That is so important that we understand how our body is talking to us. Have you guys experienced this? Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you been paying attention to how your body feels when you are doing something like that tightening of your gut, or feeling anxious and your heart palpitates, or you get hot flashes? Hi, Ron. It's nice to see you, Ron. I was thinking about you. I haven't met you yet. Um, Tense. Yes, Michelle, tense is one of them. Get really tense. I was going to have you. I don't know. I'm going to do it again, but I was putting together some card readers the other Friday night, I guess it was, and I thought it would be fun to have you on. Anyway, I will do it again. Anyway, I thought about you. It was like, I should ask Ron if he wants to come on. That would be fun because I haven't met you. It would be fun to meet you. Anyway, so it's how do you feel, right? When you're going through this, how does it present itself to you? How do you deal with, what are some of the things that you guys do to mitigate that tension and that fear? What are some of the, like for me, I know one of the things that I'll do because of my meditation habits and the way that I know that it calms me down, I will definitely slow down my breath, be very mindful of my breath, and take each breath deliberately. That really helps to calm me down. But the interesting thing about it is I've been doing a lot more reading on fear and how fear, we incorporate it and how it takes over our life, how far we actually get into that pattern of fear before we actually realize that we could have prevented it. Like we have these normal reactions that we will go to because of what we learned when we were children, or how, because we learn it as children and then we incorporate it and we don't let it go. So we become more and more used to it. It becomes a part of who we are. So I have really noticed that that's what I've been doing. I will let you know. I think that would be fun. Yeah, it would be fun to have you on. We're going to do it again. Some people really loved what we did, and some people were not a fan. And that's okay. I thought it was fun. I know that we learned a lot through that experience because you have to keep the energy up. And there was lulls in that. So I was trying to, I've not done that before. So it was interesting to kind of play with it and like ask questions from everybody for everybody. And I don't know, just kind of change it up. It was fun. Yes, Michelle, exactly. That's what I would do. I would run and I would shut down. Absolutely. I would just like pretend it didn't exist. If I just didn't pay attention to it, then it wasn't real. But it doesn't stop it from happening. Hi, Jody. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Jody. That's awesome. It's funny. I got some really strong opinions of I liked it and I didn't like it. It's very funny, but I do want to do it again. I think 6 people were a little much, but I love that everybody got 2 people that read for them and we got through everybody fast, man. That was great. And it was fun. I thought it was fun. I enjoyed it a lot. So I definitely want to do it again. So going back to fear though, and some of the things that I have been noticing as I've been going, and this past 2 months have been really, I'm not whining or complaining because I feel like everything happens for a reason, but it's been difficult on me because I'm making big decisions in my life and what I want to do with my life. And so I did not know it would interact or it would affect me in that way. Because I'm usually pretty even keeled. I can usually get through things, but it really did take a lot out of me. And of course, we went through the holidays and everything else, but I had like some of my guests got messed up and canceled and whatever. And that happens. And I get it. I mean, everybody's doing this for free. It's for fun. And I get it. And it just happens. So, I'm learning as I go along. But the biggest thing is, what do I want to be when I grow up? I mean, are you guys all doing what you want to be when you grow up? Are you doing that? Because we get many opportunities to choose. And right now I have a mini opportunity moment, right? I get to choose whatever it is I want to do right now. And I'm learning as I go through. One of the things that I am learning as I'm going through this, and one of the things that I think keeps us in control of fear is trying to control situations, trying to control everything. Do you guys do that? No, Michelle, it's horrible, isn't it? I have no idea what I want to be when I grow up. I know I love doing what I'm doing. I love when I gotta show you guys. Okay, so I was talking to Marcia the other day, and I don't know, we were talking about stupid stuff, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, I've always wanted to play with like kind of things, I think, but I don't really know that I want to do that because it's a lot of tedious work. I don't think there's very much money. It's not something you do to make money. I think it's more of a passion of the heart kind of thing. And so I was going to go into this one place and do orographs. And so I had done some orographs. And so I was talking to Marsha one day and I was like, oh my God, what if you took an orograph and put it on, like you did an orograph for somebody and you put it on a t-shirt. And then as we created this whole business plan, I'm telling you, the two of us did, to take your pet's orograph, do an orograph for your pet. So I did this orograph and I put it on a t-shirt and it was so fun. I spent a day doing this. It's like, is this what I really want to do with my life? But I had so much fun creating it. So I'm going to start doing that. I'll post some. I'm going to have to start. I'm not using my website. You guys go to my website if you want to see what's going on there. I'm going to start doing more with that. I don't know why. I'm not used to doing that. I'm used to doing more on Facebook. But I created one with her dog. She has a dog, Charlie. So I did one with her dog. And my daughter sent me a picture of her dog. So I did one for her dog. And then she has my cat because I claim this cat. It's my cat. Max is my cat. I did one for Max. And it was actually fun doing that. I actually loved it. So anyway, but that's what you do. You're learning, right? We're learning as we go along what really makes us happy. But the thing about it, I think, is a lot of times we don't do what makes us happy because we're afraid. And I know that's a part of my moving forward too. I have to be whatever. We have these ideas of what we have to be or what we should be or to fit in a box. But yeah, we can do anything we want. And like for me, I'm a multitasker. I love to do many things at one time. I'm not just a one person thing. So I don't ever see me doing just one thing. I love doing readings. I absolutely adore it. I've done many mediumship readings this week. My favorite thing though is to do coaching because I have so many different modalities behind me. Is taking everything and putting it together in a box. That's my favorite thing. And of course, that's me, right? I have many different things. So I feel like pulling out all these different kinds of tools to help people is what really makes me happy. But you're always listening, or I'm always listening to what's in the highest good for that person. So it's fun. I mean, I'm having fun, even though I'm frustrated at times and I'm not certain at times, but I think that's a part of the process. And we can give ourselves compassion to know that we are going to have many times in our life where we're changing from one particular thing to another thing. This happens a lot. We're constantly adjusting or making changes to what's making us happy in our lives. And we have to be okay with that. And I think fear is one of the things that keeps us from doing that. And I know that's been a big part of my moving forward is I don't want to make a mistake, or this could be very hurtful financially down the line, or whatever that thing is that keeps us back. But we have to understand that things do change and we have to be able to go with that change. And what are some ways that we can facilitate that in a way that's graceful? And if you have an idea on that, please let me know because I'm still looking for it. What are some of the ways to facilitate that? I was talking to Alan a little while ago and he had a good idea. He thought he's always coming up with what things we should do. So his idea right now, hold on, I'm reading. Yes. Exactly. Jody, that is exactly, and that is the key, isn't it? Let faith be stronger than your fear. Absolutely. I can't even tell you how many times I have talked to my team about that. Wherever you take me is where I'm going to go. It's how I'm going to maneuver. And faith is the biggest part of it. Um, Yeah, regret. Absolutely, absolutely. So I gotta tell you one of the ideas that Alan had. Alan decided, and I actually think it's a somewhat of a good idea. My good friend Michelle, who has passed away, she and I would have these amazing conversations about life and how we should live life and things we should do and whatever. We just used to have the most amazing conversations. And one time she was just so ready to change. She needed a change. And so she did a quiet weekend where she had to be quiet the entire and she was a talker. So this was not an easy feat for her. So she did the quiet weekend. And in doing that, she came back and she just had a lot of insight. And it really was beneficial. Like she had mom problems and family issues and whatnot, and she really had a deeper understanding through just having the silence of her voice all weekend and the silence of her mind as much as she could, and she really benefited from it. So anyway, back to Alan decided that we need to do a silent retreat, and I thought it was a good idea. I think it's a splendid idea. I don't know about, at least 48 hours, 36 hours, maybe 24. I don't know. I don't know if I could be quiet. How long can you guys be quiet? What's the longest that you guys can be quiet? Um, so anyway, so one of the things that I've been really learning about fear too is fear, like, okay, so you always hear about, most businesses that start fail. Don't like I've gotten a lot of opinions from people. What's not long enough to count? How long we should be quiet? How many hours in a 24-hour or 48-hour? It has to be a weekend. Uh, so then he sent me a picture of a monastery in Italy, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get the monastery in Italy, and we're gonna do the retreat there." Except the monastery in Italy was 2.7 million. Oh, okay. So you're a quiet person, I would say, if you can't do it long enough. I don't think, I mean, I love to be, I'm quiet all day long because I don't have anybody to talk to. Doesn't it? In Italy, though, in Italy, Cassandra, absolutely. I bet, Cassandra. Oh, Jody, yes, at Capali. I wonder what they charge for something like that. I actually would love to do it. And other thing is, we were coming up with things to do. So it would be like gardening or meditation walks and, like doing stuff that you can still be active. You're using your mind and you can kind of go into that place of just being with yourself and getting to know yourself. I think it'd be fun. I really do. It's something I'm gonna maybe look into because I would love to do it personally. I think it would be fascinating. And then have it like a weekend, but then have a time period at the end when we can share about what our experiences were and what did we learn from that and what aha moments did we gain from having that experience. I think it would be amazing. I really do. Oh, Italy is amazing. I was my granddaughter, a couple days ago, she was like, "Grandma, send me pictures of sunset." So I was going through all my pictures and I got because I went to Italy a couple years ago with a friend of mine. And the pictures of the sunsets in Italy, oh, were so amazing. They were so beautiful. Italy is an amazing place. Um, so going back to fear and how fear controls our life and how we can tend to, um, I feel like fear is our friend because fear shows us that there's something wrong. So I feel like fear a lot of time gets a bad rap because we allow fear, like what I think it was Jody said, faith. Yeah, Jody said faith, right? We don't have faith. So fear takes over. But fear is also a trigger for us to say, oh, wait a minute, there's something wrong. There's something not right here. We need to adjust this. We need to pay attention to this. So, but the thing about it that I don't want to lose track of is your body tells you that before fear does. The reason fear has to come in or does come in is because we've missed the signs before fear has taken over. Have you guys noticed that? I hadn't until I started paying attention to, oh, I'm feeling that tension in my stomach, that very knowing feeling that I get often. I'm feeling that. What happened or what's going on around that I'm feeling that? And as I pay attention to that feeling, then I realize, oh, I'm thinking, did you know that we spend about 46% of our day thinking about nothing but just wasting time in our brain? I mean, we're thinking about things, but we're not being productive in our brain. We waste that time. But yet it's important time because for me, I know that when I'm out in la la land thinking about something, it's because I'm trying to work something out. I'm trying to understand something, or I'm trying to get something accomplished. But if you are in that mindset and you're paying attention to your body at the same time, you all have triggers that you've learned as you've grown up to tell you something is wrong, but we don't pay attention to them. And that's where we start getting that actual feeling of fear. Oh, I can't do that because, or I'm going to not make it this way, or I'm going to whatever, to that fear that we're hanging on to. But if we paid attention to our bodies before we got to that, that would lead us in a more graceful way to knowing this isn't for me or this is for me. But we do, and how many people say after you've done something, I shouldn't have done that. I knew I shouldn't have done that. I knew that was going to happen because your body's telling you this. It's giving you the signals before you actually start doing something. But we've learned to ignore it or not pay attention to what our body is telling us. I I often think a lot when I'm doing card readings for people, and they're asking me questions that they should know the answer to. I have to say to them, "Are you listening to your body?" And I don't know when you say that. I don't know if you guys always just thought, "Okay, I have to really listen to all parts of my body. What is it telling me? I need to stop. I need to pay attention. I need to have that as part of my practice, that I need to pay attention to my body," because I haven't. I'm like, yeah, I'm listening to my body kind of on the surface, but I'm not going deep into what is my body really telling me about this? What am I feeling that I'm not paying attention to? Why do I have to get to that real deep pit pain in my stomach before I'm paying attention that there's something wrong? What were the signs before that I wasn't paying attention to, that now I'm paying attention to because now it's loud enough for me to pay attention to? I'm like very intrigued with this. This has really been teaching me, one, to slow down, but two, to pay attention to what do I really want? What really makes me happy? Why am I not doing something? Is it because I'm afraid of failure? Am I afraid of falling on my face? Am I afraid that I'm going to get hurt? Am I afraid of succeeding? How many people are afraid of actually accomplishing what it is that they want? I was listening to somebody talk the other day, and they were talking about how when they have a person would come to them and they would have this idea about a job or something that they wanted to create, a business or something. And they wouldn't do it because they were afraid that nobody would like it or it wasn't going to succeed. And they stopped. But if they would keep going, it was like Michael Jordan, I think it was, who was, if I'm not mistaken, it was Michael Jordan that had gotten cut from his basketball team. And he had the impression that he was cut from the basketball team because he wasn't a good basketball player. And so he almost quit basketball. And yet he kept going. And now look at what Michael Jordan is, because he didn't stop. He kept moving. How many things in our life have we not accomplished because we stopped, because we didn't think we were good enough, because we didn't think anybody would like it, because we were afraid of rejection, because we were afraid of losing money? I mean, there's so many things that keep us from moving forward in our life when if you don't stop, then you haven't lost. I was listening to a story of a lady who wanted to create this company. She wanted to create this beautiful company. And she had all these dreams. She went to school, she got a master's degree, she did all of these things to work towards creating this company that she had had from an experience that she had when she was a teenager. And when she got to the point of wanting to actually start it, to actually implement what her dream was, she went to a mentor of hers and she said, well, if you thought that was a good idea, then it would already be done, but nobody's done it. So clearly it's not a good idea. So therefore you're not going to succeed at that. And she didn't do it. She listened to that teacher, that instructor that she looked up to, because that instructor had power, had control, had the backing to be able to discourage her from doing this. And it bothered her. Not did that teacher took her dream away. It bothered her that she didn't have a dream anymore. And so she was finally to the point where she was like, one of the things that with fear, you're either like, fuck it, or, oops, sorry. Well, I say it all the time. Or you move forward in what you want. And so she finally decided she was going to go through with her dream. Why am I letting this one person keep me from doing what I want to do? And how many of us do that? I know for me, when because I've been really challenging myself with religion to the point of, I'm probably going to get dangerous pretty shortly with religion, because there's so much about it I cannot handle, with this hypocrisy that's going on, and these religious people who think they can just tell you, well, we have the only truth and you're going to go to hell. Anyway, hence I digress. But she realized that she had lost that dream because she allowed somebody to take it from her, and she took it back. And that's when she had power. And I think we all have those times where we have these dreams and we allow somebody else to take it from us, not because they have the power, because we gave them the power, because we didn't have the confidence in ourselves. She can't blame that person for her not doing what she wanted to do. I can't blame anybody for what I haven't accomplished in my life. I can only say, I'm done with not accomplishing things in my life, and I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. We give our power away to other people so we don't have to be responsible or have the faith. Like Jody said, we don't have the faith that it's going to actually work out. So we stop ourselves. Could you imagine if Michael Jordan, well, he would have done something, but if he wouldn't have followed his dream, and a lot of other people and you see these people that they have these dreams and they're like, no, I'm not giving up on my dream. I'm going to keep going through. I don't care how many times I get knocked down. I don't care how many times I have to get back up again. I'm going to keep doing it because this is my dream. But how much of our dreams have we given away because of fear, because of looking bad, because of maybe not succeeding, but who hasn't succeeded that really had a passion for something? The only thing that I would say to that I have acknowledged and learned as I've been going through this unraveling and reading about it and understanding people that have failed and understanding people that have succeeded is, and I know this happened with the first company that I started, we had this idea of what this company would be. And when you start something, it changes, it evolves as you're moving forward. As you're developing this dream, it starts developing. And then your dream starts shifting and changing as you go, oh, but that's a better idea, or that would work better. And so it's something that grows with you. You have this seed that you plant, and then you want to start it, and then it starts growing. And it's when we don't keep watering it and feeding it and loving it and nurturing it, because it changes into something else. And that's what I tell people when they have something that they want to do. Why are you not doing it? You have to take those steps. It doesn't mean you have to create the whole thing overnight. It's taking a step every day to accomplish or do what it is that you want to do. It doesn't happen overnight. And if you take that first step, and I've seen it even in the work that I've been doing lately, where I've taken a step, and then as I've taken that step, I'm like, oh, but I can do this. I think Marcia's tired of me going, oh, I have an idea. Because it's taking that step that opens up your creativity and opens you up to other things, other opportunities. I remember when I first started doing card reading, I was so afraid of tarot. It was like, no, I'm not going to do tarot. I didn't think I would ever be able to just do card readings, but that's because I was doing it from my mental mind. I had a goal. I had ideas of what it should be like. And it was all going to come from my mind. When card reading doesn't come from your mind, it comes from your gut. It comes from that inspiration. It comes from that guidance. And that's what living your life comes from too. But we don't listen to that guidance within us. We're trying to do what it is that we want to do in our mental minds, but we have to be in partnership, I think, with our team, in partnership with spirit, in partnership with our higher self, in partnership with all of those that are creating it with us. Because I don't feel like we're creating it alone. I feel like I have my team behind me that's helping me to take each step. And we have our good days and our bad days. It's not always kumbaya, everything is perfect. And a lot of people that have created very successful businesses didn't just get there by taking the easy yellow brick road and have everything open up. But it's those moments of, and I'm facing that, right? It's those moments of, oh shit, this isn't happening the way I wanted it to happen, or it's not happening as fast as I wanted to happen, or I feel like I'm hitting a roadblock. Have you guys all felt that? I mean, how many of you have felt the roadblock? It's like, why is this not happening? Why I've been working so hard for 2 days. Why is the door not opening for me? What's going on? We have to take the steps, and sometimes the steps come very quickly and sometimes they take time. And we have to be able to go for the long haul in this. And even like my show lately, it's been kind of hard to get people to come on the show and not cancel or have the time or working out the time. And it's just doesn't happen overnight. It's work to be able to do that. And I get frustrated at times. And then there's other times where it's just like, whew, floodgates just open and everything just works. And that's the way life is. How about with you guys? How are you guys feeling about it? I can tell I should be reading cards, though. There's only 3 of you here now. One of the things that I was going to talk about, though, is some of the signs of when you feel like in your body before it goes to your head and before you start having a mental breakdown is some of the signs that you could be feeling is that tightness in your throat, your muscles get really tight. You could be having, like for me, I get stomach aches. My stomach just really gets like on fire, like an ulcer is what it's like. Or heart palpitations. You get that flutteriness in your heart, or it beats really fast. I feel it a lot in my heart when I'm getting really tight or uncomfortable with something. But the biggest thing is this to me, and I have had this happen where you get to the point where you're just like, I'm going to cry. I'm just going to cry. It gets so overwhelming that you just feel like you're going to cry. Why do you feel like everything is a struggle for you, Michelle? That's really sad. I'm sorry. Why do you feel like everything is a struggle? I want to take time here because I understand what you're saying, but are you meaning in just this time period or everything in life has been a struggle? I'm waiting for you. I want to hear the answer to that. Because I feel you. I feel that I want to say pain of like life isn't easy. And I get that, but usually we have some parts in our life that are easier than other times. Are you just going through a hard time right now, or do you feel like all of your life has been a struggle? Because I feel like once we understand how our body works, once we can pinpoint that first little well, that's a whole nother subject because what you're doing, and I get it. I'm not dismissing what you said. Nothing comes easy. Um, I I'll come back to that. But the last part you said, I feel like it should be, or I feel like I'm sorry. I feel like I should put my glasses on so I can actually read. I feel like I should be further along in my life in general. I feel like there's a lot of judgment to that. And part of the reason that I would say that is because I feel that same way. And I know when I look back and see the accomplishments of what I have actually done, I'm like, "What are you thinking?" I mean, look at what you have accomplished in these 63 years of your life, and yet you feel like you haven't accomplished enough, or you haven't been good enough, or you should have done more, or you should be farther along, and that's judgment. That's judgment of me feeling like I'm not good enough. Do you feel like that's what you're doing, that you're not really appreciating the accomplishments that you actually have made, because I bet you've made some really good things happen in your life. And it's honoring that. And I get that sometimes, like right now, I'm in a hard part of my life because I feel like life goes in the ebbs and flows, right? We go through these good parts and these bad parts, these good parts, and I don't know if they're bad, but they're more difficult parts, I want to say. And it's kind of an ebb and a flow. So do you feel like that you're going through an ebb and a flow? Do you want to come on, Michelle? I want to talk to you. I want to know what's going on with you. That breaks my heart. It breaks my heart that you feel that way. I mean, I have 2 wonderful children that I would like to disown from time to time. I have 5 beautiful grandchildren, and I have an exceptionally close relationship with one of them, just by circumstance. It's not that I favor one over the other. It's just that one lived with me, and I'm kind of a second mom to one of my grandchildren. Um, and that to me is like a great accomplishment. And I didn't even do it. I just kind of was here as the driving the bus for them to get to where they needed to go. And I love my family. And to me, that's amazing that I have these people in my life, even though, with our children, we want to strangle them sometimes. And what are you thinking kind of thing from time to time. But we were the same way. I was the same way with my parents, right? I did my own thing. Oh, that's okay. I'd like to help you though. But okay, so that's really interesting that I went off on children. Um, and I'm very sorry because I can tell that could be a very triggering thing for you. But I do feel like it's um, everything happens in our life for a reason. Like for me, this past a lot of my life, I always felt like the rug was going to be pulled out for me and expected the rug to be pulled out for me. And yet I was like self-serving to that. The rug was going to be pulled out for me because I'm expecting it. But yet there's things that happen in our life that are going to happen because it's life. And life doesn't always go the way we want it to go. And so our part now is to look at what can I do to change that? What can I do? And a lot of it is our mental thoughts. Marsha's been really great on me to slap me across the face going, what are you saying? What are you thinking? Because you're creating something that you don't want to create. You want to create the abundance, the wealth. But we also, my belief system on that is I understand that I can get into I'm going to create this negativity in my life if I'm constantly focusing on it. But yet we have this other part of life where we're destined for certain things or experiences in our life. I firmly believe that. And so there's some things that we can change, or there's things that we can change slightly or make better or more comfortable. But there's some things that we can't, but we don't know what's ahead of us. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I know what's happening today. And I know today that I have to take the steps to get to where I want to go. I have to do the things that will create what I want to create. It's not just going to happen. So it's looking at the things that we can do each day to make that goal happen. For you, it's what can you do to make that happen? Are you doing everything that you can do? Because a lot of times, like, you know, I've seen people do it and I've done it. So I'm not saying you're doing it and you're separate from anybody or different or anything. We've all done this where there's things that we can do and we're just not doing them. And I know for me, I've kind of gone through a roller coaster over the last year of I knew what I had to build. I knew where I was going. I knew what I needed to do. And I worked at it. And sometimes I can look back at it and say, well, I should have done this, or I should have done that. I should have acted differently here, or I should have taken this path instead of that path. I can't go back to change that, but I can go forward to change what I'm doing now. And so now every day I have to get up and say, what am I going to do to create this life that I want? I have to be clear about the life that I want. I can't be afraid of stepping into that life, which I can be afraid of that. I'm telling you right now, I can be afraid of that because it's big. Not what I'm doing in my life, but it's big to go into the unknown, the uncertainty. That's where fear lies. And that's where Jody's faith comes back into play because we don't know where we're going. We don't know how it's going to work out. But if I don't take those steps forward, then I'm not going to get there. Now, for me, I think I kind of fell into the first part of my life. I don't think I want to call it dumb luck. I just kind of fell into it. I didn't think about it. I think that has a lot to do with being younger. I didn't think about it. I didn't plan it out. It was just like, and again, I feel like I didn't know I was being inspired, but because I didn't know I was being inspired, I just followed the trail. I just followed it and did it. Now I'm like, because of my age, because of my circumstance, I'm a lot more careful about, should I do this or should I do that? Or is this good or is that bad or whatever? So I'm like, I walk more in fear now than I did when I was younger. And so I feel like for you, is this things that that you're taking the steps forward to? Are you afraid to take the steps forward? Because I know fear can keep us from creating that life that we want. We can do it energetically, as we know what you think you do create. So if you feel like you're not going to have, if you feel like it's not going to happen, then you're right, it's not going to. But when we move forward as if it is going to happen and the confidence that it is going to happen, then whatever is supposed to happen will happen. Although I really want to pull cards for you right now, and I don't have cards in front of me. But hold on. I want to pull cards for Michelle. I want to see. Hold everything. I need cards. Hold everything. All right, Michelle, can I pull cards for you? I want to see what Spirit has to say about your not moving forward. Is that okay with you? I won't do it if you feel uncomfortable with it. I'm just curious. If I don't hear from you, I won't, though, because I don't want you to feel uncomfortable about it. I'm curious, though. I'm just curious. Just about what Spirit wants you to know about your situation. So about fear, though, until I hear back from Michelle, she wants me to pull cards for her. Yes, thank you. Okay. I'd like to know what Spirit wants to tell you about that. I'm not saying that you're not doing that, Michelle, so please don't take it that way, but it is something that I have learned, and it's something that is truthful for all of us in some way, shape, or form, about if we don't take the steps, or if we're not doing what needs to be done, it's not going to get done, because we have to be a proactive counterpart to Spirit, to what we want to create in our life. I think it's just you and me, Michelle. There's only one person watching now. Let's see. Oh, okay. Fear. You got fear, definitely. You're holding it back from fear. There's something that you're afraid of, and that you're, that's so funny that this came out during a conversation about fear. Yeah, you've got fear about connection. So these two go together. There's a fear that you have about connection. Oh, hi, Cassandra. You're multitasking. You can multitask. Yeah, you got, so see, you have fear that's holding you back from union. You're I don't think you're doing it on purpose, but there's something that's holding you back from making that commitment. Let me see if we can get more clarity on that. What's holding you back from these? You know what? I got to tell you the story about this deck of cards. Pretty funny. This deck of cards. Ooh, okay. Definitely you're shielding yourself. You're shielding yourself from it. You're not allowing. And it's so funny. You're shielding yourself. Look at. You're shielding yourself for some reason. Are you afraid to get married or afraid to have children? How old are you? You don't have, there's something that you're shielding yourself. There's something that you're not trusting, or you're not, you can make the magic happen, but you're holding yourself back. There's something within you that's holding yourself back. It's so funny that the mother and because this is nurturing. This is nurturing. So you've got to do more, open yourself up more and nurture yourself more for that union and that connection. Because why I asked you your age, because I feel like you don't have much time left. I could be wrong, or there's something about time with you, is what I feel like. You're holding it back, Michelle. What are you holding it back for? Again, more holding it back. You're putting on the mask. You're not seeing it in the way that, you're not seeing it in a way that is going to be, I want to say good for you, but that doesn't feel right. You're not seeing it in a way that's going to benefit you. There's something you're not seeing because you've got this danger to it, or this resistance to it. Oh, okay. So it is, but you still can have a relationship, or you could adopt too. Because I felt like there's something in there for naturally having children. But I feel like this was a big desire, because this is where the cards brought was family, which could come in many different ways. But I think this particular one too, though, has more to do with you nurturing yourself and taking care of yourself, and family will come. But there's definitely, would you understand this fear being, because you've got like several cards that are keeping you from moving forward in fear, in resistance. Some are fear, some is resistance. You're resisting it in some way. Does that make sense to you? Wait a minute, I'm gonna do one more of the tarot. Oh, so the story about these cards is so funny. I was cleaning out. I'm trying to clean out and get rid of stuff, because I don't want all the stuff that I've been collecting over all these years. And so I was going through one of my cabinets, and I opened this cabinet door, and this deck of cards was just sitting in there, and I had no idea it was there. I was like, well, I guess it's time for me to use you now. And I've been enjoying them. Let's see if it tells us. Let's see if the tarot will tell us what you're afraid of. Then I'm going to go back to my fear. When you breathe into the fear, Michelle, where is the fear residing? Where do you feel that resistance? I don't want to say fear, because I don't know that that's really the right word for you. I feel like it's more resistance for you. Where do you feel that resistance in your body? I'm curious to know that. I feel like your resistance is more like a fear of being hurt. Yeah, it has something to do with you being hurt. I mean, you want it. You're curious about it. You know that it would be an experience. But you have something that's really, you're not looking at it from a right perspective. You're not letting go of this attachment. It almost feels also there wasn't a lot of balance. So it was like other things took priority. In your shoulders, carrying the load. That makes sense to these cards, to tell you the truth, because you're not carrying the balance of it. There's it's almost like you're trying to control it or manipulate it. You're not seeing it in a way that's balanced, and and open to you, because again, this is very mental as well. Um, so there's something to do with balance came out twice too. So there's something you're not balancing in your thoughts about it. It's the idea. There's something about it that you're holding back, the idea of it. My question, I guess what I keep feeling is that, did you have a bad experience of relationships when you were younger? Because you're carrying it. You're carrying it on your shoulders, and that's like carrying the load. Like you feel like you would have to carry the load to the relationship, or that's what the first thing that came to me is carrying the load of the relationship. Like, I don't know if you've had problems in your past where you've had people that didn't support you, and that you were the one that you felt like you were carrying the load. You were carrying the weight. Yeah, challenging, definitely. I'm sorry, Michelle. I feel the pain in you. Like that was really a want for you. I don't know. Let me see. I want a yes or oh, I don't have those here. I want to know if a relationship is in your future. You have somebody near you, somebody you interact with. I feel like somebody's close to you, somebody you interact with. That's right. That's what it feels like. You trusted people you should have. Yep. That's what they were saying. We all do that though, but that's hurt your heart. Would you understand there's somebody close to you though? I feel like there's somebody close to you that is you're not seeing in the right way. I got to go back to my, the first thing comes out is disappointment. But you got the Lover's card. You got the Lover's card. But you're not seeing it. You have somebody near you. You have somebody already near you. But you're really holding back from it. You don't feel safe in that relationship. You don't feel safe to move forward. It's definitely a mental challenge for you, an absolute mental challenge. I feel like if you just allow yourself, law enforcement guy. Oh, give it time. I feel like with this, you got it coming. It's going to come your way. It's a new beginning. It's coming. It's growing. It's going to be happening. He feels really, I feel like in his energy, I could feel his energy was there, but it's very faint. So I feel like it's something that he's very much aware of and thinking about, but the timing is not completely right, is what it feels like. And really like we make time for what's important. I don't feel like he's ready yet. He's not completely ready yet, is what it feels like, because his energy is connected to your energy. And it's interesting he has kids. But his energy is connected to your energy, but I feel like he's not quite there yet. But I think that it's going to happen. I really do. And I feel like, it's about, again, all of these things happen because of how we see them, how we portray them. Like a lot of things that happen from fear, we can have triggers, or we can have ideas about our stereotypical kind of feelings towards it. And then we shut it off. Like I'm big on that one. If like with you, because of people that I've trusted in my life that I shouldn't have, I have a quick trigger to no, I'm done. I'm walking away from this because of my experience. And the bad thing about that is that if you don't give somebody time and space in a safe way, it doesn't mean you allow people to abuse you, but you can give some, maybe there's a misunderstanding and you give people time to understand it. Because you can be protected and safe when you give somebody time to clear up whatever happened. I'll be fast at like, done, walk away. Not, I'll pass a judgment like nobody's business. I'm on the judgment side, Michelle, so I'm not calling the kettle black on that one. I totally can do that based on my fear, my background, my past, the things that I've experienced. But I'm learning. That's the one thing that I'm really working on right now is understanding my fear, because one of the things that I'm doing is keeping myself from moving forward because I don't like the uncertainty of life. I need to know everything's in a line. I need to know what's going to happen next. I never knew I was like so much of me. I had no idea. I'm like, wow, I didn't even know that was part of me. But I think in human nature, that's what we are. I do like spontaneity, can't say it. I do like change. I love change. But I don't like things that I'm uncertain of. When it comes to my well-being and my, like, who does, right? I like being secure. I don't like being insecure. But why? Why do we do that, Michelle? Why? Because we're afraid of being hurt. So I'm not going to give somebody the chance to hurt me. Where I have learned lately when I've paid attention to it and knew that I was safe and nothing was going to happen to me, to explore it a little more and found that what I thought would be the case or truth was not the truth. Now I've learned more how to trust my inner guidance system, though. I didn't know before how to trust because of my past. And again, it's going back to the beginning. If you listen to your body, like the first thing you said with the shoulders and the back, that's carrying the load. You're carrying the load in your life and the lessons that you've learned. I had other things that I would be triggered by, but what I learned is that I was taught very early not to trust. And so my way of dealing with things is a knee-jerk reaction, man. Nope, like a snake. I'm just going to strike. And it didn't serve me because I missed a lot of things. And so now when I slow down, because I'm paying attention to my body, what is my body telling me? Am I in danger? Is this something that could maybe turn out to be okay? Did I misunderstand something? I'm learning. I don't always do it this way because it is a part of my nature. I'm a Sagittarius for one, and I'm very fast for another. But I give people more the benefit of the doubt now because I know that I can protect myself. I know that I can let somebody in to a point. I know I can't trust certain people. I just know from my body language what I can do and what I can't, because I'm learned that and I'm still learning that. So I feel like I've maybe cut relationships short that I didn't have to because I assumed something, and it all came from my, again, like you, Michelle, right? Not trusting people and being hurt by people because I didn't stop something before it got to be a situation where I knew that it was going to be a situation. I just didn't listen to it or trust it. And so I would go into this wide eyed and totally forgiving and understanding and accepting, and ended up getting hurt by it. Where now I pay attention to all of the energy around, and then I can make a decision based on that. But what I'm finding is that we have these little, I want to call them cancers because that's not a good, I don't like that word, but we have this little thing that's going on, growing within us. And then we can start unpacking it. And as we unpack it, we can start understanding it better. So as I'm unpacking it or I'm paying attention to it, because now I have tools to be able to do that, then I can quickly see, oh, this is going to go south or this is going to go north. This is going to go good or this is going to go bad. And then I can have that understanding or that knowledge to be able to deal with it in that way. But I'm not dealing from fear or from hurt or from pain. I'm dealing from, I have the right, I have the responsibility, I have the power to walk away if I want to walk away. I don't have any kind of attachment or responsibility to anybody anymore because I just have to deal with myself. I'm only responsible for me and decisions that I make. But what I was doing is I was acting either in fear or anger. And anger is still fear, right? Anger is, I'm afraid that you're going to hurt me. I'm afraid you're going to do something against me. And so when I've took anger away, now I'm only faced with fear, because anger is the judgment. Anger is the judgment that you're going to do something to hurt me. And if I have fear, then I'm going to walk away and protect myself, clearly. But when I could take that fear away and react from just myself, just from me making the best decision possible for me, then I'm doing it in a way that's more beneficial for me in the long run to that, which is kind of was a hard process for me to learn, because anger was such a big part of my being because of my relationship with my mom, I would say. I love my mom. My mom is a wonderful human being, but we did not have the best of relationships all of my life, pretty much. Well, a lot of my life. We had a period of time where we understood each other better. But the thing about it is, it's not my mom. It wasn't my mom. It wasn't my dad. I don't talk about my dad that much, but it wasn't either one of them. It was my allowance of what I accepted, and also my judgment of how I was interpreting it. Now I can, and again, it's that attachment that we have. It's the judgment and the attachment that we have to something. And now that I can see who my mom actually is, and what my mom, and even the fears and the hardships that my mom went through, she had a childhood too that wasn't, roses and candy and happiness and joy. She had her own stuff that she was going through. And so we do, and I'm sure if you talk to my children, oh my God, someday I'll have my daughter on. She's hilarious when she talks about how I raised them. She's truly hilarious. But, I've done things to them that they're not real thrilled about me about either. So we as human beings, that's what we do. We're trying the best we can to get along and be a good person. And I raised my kids with a big heart. I love my kids. I loved being a mom. I loved being a mom. I did. And I was a very strong-willed mom too, because I still had my personality and I didn't have the knowledge that I have now of the bigger picture of the universe and why we're here. And so my children can tell you a lot about the horrible things that I did to them. And but they're good people, so I love them. So we do the best we can, and that's what I wanted to share tonight. I think was more about just fear and being able to understand that our body is talking to us long before we actually hear it, to be able to pay attention to those signs and signals, and maneuver through that, and try to make better decisions based on what we're feeling and what we're aware of, and try to circumvent that anger part of it, or that rejection part of it, or that knee-jerk reaction, or that really there's things that I could have done that I should have done that would have been good for me if I would have done that. If I would have worked from that space versus a fear space, I would have had other opportunities. And I'm sad at some of the opportunities that I've missed, but then some of the opportunities have come back to me. And it gave me a second chance to be able to say, oh, okay, now I understand this. I know. It's very true, isn't it, Michelle? When you're a kid, you're like, "Rah, rah, rah," and then when you're an adult, you're like, oh God, that's what I did. Dang, that wasn't good. Um, I wanted to look back and see, was there anything else that I wanted to talk about? Next week, I will have a guest. I get my guest back on target, I think, next week. It's been um, a really crazy past month, I would say. And last week, it was crazy. It was just crazy. It's been crazy. Anyway, any questions? Do you guys have anything you want to talk about? There's 3 of you. What are you guys up to? And I'm thinking, is there anything else I have going on either? Yeah, I don't think so. I guess that's it for tonight. Thanks for all listening. Thanks for chatting with me, Michelle. And thanks, Jody, for the faith comment. That was very important and very needed at the time. And I hope you all are taking care of yourself. And please, 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 ugh, remember to listen to your body. Listen to your body and let your body lead you. Your body will tell you what it needs to know, what you need to know. And I hope you all take care. And is there, oh, I'm having a DEM Friday, the 3rd. So if you're interested in the DEM, message me. That is a demonstration for mediumship. If I'm sorry, I'm talking in code. You may not know what that is. I'm having a demonstration for mediumship on Friday at 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So if you're interested in that, let me know. And I hope you all do well. Take care and have a good night. Bye.